All right, page 198, and today you are going to be writing equations of lines. You're going to be writing your equations in two forms. One of the forms is called slope-intercept. Hopefully this is a review. Y equals mx plus b. Where where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So the first part of your assignment, you're going to be asked to write an equation. In slope-intercept form. And graph the line. So if you're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form and you're going to graph the line, the information that you're going to be given, they're going to give you the m. And let's say they tell you that the m is 1/2. And they're going to give you the y-intercept. They might say b is -2. So your equation would be y equals the slope, which is 1/2, the letter x, and then the y-intercept, which is -2. So y equals 1/2 x minus 2. Now, when you graph these lines today, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It just has to be accurate. And here's what I mean. If you draw a coordinate plane, you got your x-axis and your y-axis. I'm going to plot the y-intercept first. So this y-intercept is down here at -2. So on the y-axis, I'm going to put a point on -2. And then remember that your slope is rise over run. So from -2 on the y-axis, I'm going to rise 2, or I'm going to rise 1, and I'm going to run 2 to the right because the slope is positive. And then I'm going to rise 1 more, and I'm going to run 2 more to the right. And I've got 3 points on the line, and then I'm going to connect those points. So what I've got is a graph of a line that's hitting the y-axis at -2, and that's accurate. It's got a positive slope, so my line's going up and to the right, so that part's accurate. And that's all you need to get on your graph. Make sure if your slope is positive, your line's going up and to the right. Make sure if your slope is negative, your line's going up and to the left. And that your y-intercept is accurate. Now, that's one way you'll be given the y-intercept. Another way will be like this. You'll be told that m -3. And then you'll just be given a point like 0, 2. If a point has a 0x coordinate and a 2y coordinate, then that point's on the y-axis, isn't it? And if it's on the y-axis, that's your y-intercept. So your equation is y equals negative 3x plus 2. So let's graph it. All right, so on the y-axis, I'm going to positive 2, and I'm going to put a point. My slope is negative, and negative 3 is the negative 3 over 1. So I'm going to rise 3, and I'm going to run 1 to the left. And there's my second point. Now, the other thing I can do is instead of rising 3 and running 1 to the left, I can also go down 3 and run 1 to the right. Just so you can keep your graph pretty much under control and not have it all over your paper. All right, so negative slope, our line's going up and to the left. So that's accurate. And our y-intercept is at 2, and that is accurate. So that's the first part of your assignment. Then you're going to write equations in what is called point-slope form. And point-slope form is the letter y, and then the opposite of the y value given at the point given. So we write minus y sub 1 equal to m, which is our slope again, left parenthesis, letter x, and then the opposite of the x value at the point given. So we write minus x sub 1. So if we're going to write an equation now in point-slope form, and we're going to graph it again. You're going to be given the slope. Let's do an m of negative 2/3. A point on the line, 2, negative 3. Here's how you write this equation. You start it with the letter y. Next to the letter y goes the opposite of the y value at the point that you're given. So here's your x sub 1 and your y sub 1. So we go y plus 3 equal to the slope, which is negative 2/3, left parenthesis and the letter x. And then next to the letter x goes opposite of the x value given. So we go minus 2. There's your equation. We're going to graph it the same way. So we've got our, let's see, we need 2, negative 3. So 2, negative 1, 2, 3. So our point is at 2, negative 3. Our slope is negative 2/3, so I'm going to rise 2, and I'm going to run 3 to the left. And then I'm going to rise 2 and run 3 to the left. And then just take a line and connect the points.
Does it matter if you go right or left?
Does it matter if you go right or left? Yes, because the slope is negative, so our line has to go up and to the left. Now, from this initial point, you can either rise 2 and run 3 to the left, or you could go down 2, and which way would you have to run? You would have to run to the right, wouldn't you? Okay. So when you have a negative slope, you can either go up and to the left or down and to the right. All right, so let's do one more of these. Let's take a slope of 1/3 and a point at -3, -4. We start with the letter y and the opposite of the y value given. So y plus 4 equals the slope, left parenthesis, letter x, and the opposite of the x value given. So plus 3. We're going to graph this point. I need -3, -4. So -1, 2, 3. -1, 2, 3, 4. So we go to -3, -4, plot a point. I'm going to rise 1 and run 3. So I rise 1, run 1, 2, 3. Rise 1, run 1, 2, 3. There's your graph. Here's your equation in point slope form. And there's your graph. All right, so any questions on writing either of those types of equations? All right, your practice today then is going to be on page 202. 13 through 24.